video upload was over 1 year ago. And though it may be shocking, it's because I have cancer. This is the current state of things. Though for most of my videos I'll probably be wearing wigs or some sort of head covering. You may be wondering why I didn't post something about this sooner. If you do not follow my Facebook, a lot of this is still probably pretty surprising to you. And at first I wasn't going to post anything, I just wanted to keep this kind of a cute, kawaii little happy corner of the internet. But as more time passed and I hadn't made any sort of post or video, and as I also realized that my appearance might be changing quite a bit for going forward into new posts or even just Instagram uploads if I do selfies, I thought I should make some sort of thing in case you have questions, or if you would ask, I thought I would just maybe make a video so that it wouldn't be so awkward when the time came, or you wouldn't feel like you had to ask. I also decided I wanted to share parts of my story in case they are able to help someone else down the line. So how did all this happen? For several years I've been fighting difficult periods, but every year and every time I went to the doctor they would tell me, "You're a perfectly young, healthy female. There's nothing wrong with you. Do you want to try and take the birth control pill?" But they wouldn't actually tell me that there was anything wrong, and every pap smear came back clear. So they didn't think there was anything wrong with me and that I was a perfectly healthy young woman. And all of that cycle going back and forth to the doctors and being told I was perfectly young and healthy kept going, and honestly is still going now. I still have chemo doctors telling me, "But you're young and healthy, you'll bounce back." But all of that just continued until I got to the point where I was literally vomiting from all of the pain I was in. I would have about 2 weeks each month where I was either bedridden or toilet bound from the amount of blood loss. I was constantly tired, dizzy, fatigued, to the point where I would get home from work and all I would do was just sleep. I would sometimes have enough energy to do dishes and clean up the house a little bit, but generally I would get home from work and I would just fall asleep. There was also a point where I was getting dizzy and I was passing out in my classes. I couldn't make it through a full class without feeling dizzy or feeling like I was going to fall down. And so that was time to get something looked at. But all throughout this too, I know you're asking, why didn't you get it looked at sooner? What was wrong with you? Why didn't you see these signs? But a lot of it was because, one, the pandemic, and two, the language barrier was scaring me, and three, I was a perfectly healthy young female according to all of the other doctors I had seen. So luckily I had some amazing coworkers and angels that were sort of insistent that I go to the doctor and get things checked out. And several of them helped me through the process and through the translating, and I am so thankful for them because they may have saved my life. We found out by going to the doctors that I did have, or do have, stage 3 endometrial cancer, which, something I didn't know and something important to note, is a pap smear does not tell you that you have endometrial cancer. It sometimes finds cervix cancer, but a pap smear will usually not tell you if you have endometrial cancer. So if you're having problems like I'm having, you need to be asking for a biopsy, an endometrial biopsy, because pap smears will miss a lot of endometrial cancers and problems. So you have to ask for a biopsy, or maybe even if you're feeling really, really bad and feeling confident that you might have a cancer like me, you want to ask for a CT scan with contrast to see if there's anything in your blood. But all of those tests have unpleasantries that go with them, so weigh your options carefully and don't bypass the doctors too much by asking for those things. And I'm not a medical professional in any way, shape, or form, so don't take my experiences as something that you need to look for. But that's just something I learned, is a pap smear will not tell you if you have endometrial cancer. Good to know. And my doctors didn't suggest it before, so something you may want to look into if you're having some sorts of problems. Back to my story though. So basically in the last 6 months, I found out I had cancer, stage 3 endometrial cancer, so it's fairly advanced. I found out I needed to have a hysterectomy, and it was going to be a pretty major surgery in order to get the cancer out. I found out I would never be able to have children of my own. I would be losing all of my hair. I would have to leave my dream of living in Japan and return to America, where my family was, for help with the hysterectomy surgery and also with chemotherapy and recovering from all of this. And I'm sure there's more, but that's enough for now. So it's been a tough 1 to 2 years, which is why there haven't been any posts. I had hoped to post more videos during my healing and during chemotherapy, but I'm also having side effects to the chemotherapy medications that makes it almost impossible to write or use my hands during about every 2 out of 3 weeks. So doing a lot with the computer and doing editing just has not been possible. All of this has been a struggle physically, emotionally, and financially, but I'm still fighting. If you want to and you are able to help, the best way to help right now is by going to my GoFundMe and making a donation on there. It helps with my airfare back and forth to Japan, the hospitalization costs, and the chemotherapy costs, which are all quite expensive. And I'll put a link to that in the description, but please only do so if you are able to. But through all this, the good news is that I am still fighting. I'm slowly getting better, and so far the doctors in both Japan and America have said that I will eventually have a good recovery and seem hopeful that I will be cancer-free through all this. And that hope is kind of what is keeping me going right now. So I'm thankful it was caught early, and that hopefully we caught it soon enough that it hasn't spread too far, and that this will be the end of this for a long time for me. I'm also thankful to my family who is helping me out and for doing things that are making things a little bit healthier and a little bit better for me to fight this cancer. Just thankful to everyone who's helped out so far and offered donations or support and encouragement. So yeah, this was a heavy video, but thank you for watching, and for any help that you've given or are able to give. And I guess the only other thing is, don't forget to go out on your own little adventure over there and to be thankful if you're in good health today. So I guess I'm going to sign off for now. Bye, everyone! Here we go.